right, we are back with our last collection slash maybe declutter. I don't know if I'm going to declutter anything. I don't have any plans to, but we will see as we go through how we feel about things. But obviously we're going to be talking about base products today. We've got primers, concealer, foundation, and powders. So let's just dive into it, shall we? I'm going to set the foundations aside. We'll talk about primers first, then the foundations, then the concealer, then the powders. So let's do that. All right, so these are the primers that I have, and there are definitely some standouts to me and then some that I just not wild on. So this one here from Dior, this is the Backstage Primer, and I have talked about this one quite a few times. I really like it because it just acts almost like a second moisturizer on my skin. It doesn't add glow, it doesn't mattify, it doesn't have that like silicone slip to it. So I really like using this one because it's basically like another skin cream, to be honest. So I want to hold on to that. This one reminds me very much of the Dior. This one is from Good Molecules. It's the silicone-free priming moisturizer. So I mean, it's kind of right there in the name. And again, it just doesn't really like affect the foundation on top of it in that it doesn't change the finish of the foundation. So to me, these two are pretty much interchangeable. Likewise, this one here from Annabelle, which is a Canadian brand. This is the Enlighten Refreshing Perfecting Primer. I can feel from it. I don't think I can see through no, I can't see it even with the light behind it, but I can feel that I've used most of this already. So I'm just going to keep working away at it. It is one that I would consider repurchasing, but I'm not going to declutter it at this point. And then this one I went hard on for quite a while. This is the Becca Velvet Blurring Primer Perfecting, what is this? Becca Velvet Blurring Primer Perfecting Base. It's a terrible name, absolutely terrible name, but I really like the product. You do have to shake it before you use it just to make sure it's all like stirred, shaken, I don't know. Adjective, but I don't know. Anyways, shake it before you use it. And then it's got like a little bit of a color to it. But once it's like blended in, you really don't see that. Although this one does have like a blurring effect. So I can even see on the back of my hand. It's not like super pore filling or anything like that, but it does just help to provide that really clean, smooth looking canvas. So I really like how my makeup applies on top of this one, so I'm going to keep this. This one here from Il Makiage, this is the No Filter Poreless Base Smoothing Primer. This one does it, I can't remember, does it have a little bit of has a bit of a blurring effect as well. But again, it doesn't have that like gross slippery feel that like super silicone-y things do. A bit more so than the Becca. The Becca feels more like a powder, to be honest, but it's not one of those like off-putting feelings. So I will hold on to this one. I also just really like the packaging. It's super fun. And then this one here from Tatcha. This is the Liquid Silk Canvas. You know what? I like this. I won't repurchase it when it's done. First of all, it's like wildly expensive, but it also just doesn't really like do anything so amazing that I feel the price is justified. Like it's okay. It truly is. Like it's not a bad product. I'm not going to declutter it. I like the smell of it, I'll tell you that. But it doesn't do anything that this one can't do. So I'll continue using it, if only because it was horrifically expensive. But like I said, I'm not going to be repurchasing that one. Then I've got a couple samples here. This one is from Laura Mercier. This is the Foundation Primer Radiance. This one is from Bobbi Brown. It is the Vitamin Enriched Face Base. And then we have the Glow In Balm from YSL. So I'm going to keep these two because I do like them. Again, they have that same kind of idea as the Dior. But the Bobbi Brown one, I just didn't really like it. Like it's a very thick kind of consistency, and I don't know, maybe if it was in a pump or something it'd just be easier to use, but it's not, so goodbye. And then this guy here from NYX, this is the Bare With Me Hydrating Jelly Primer, and I did manage to finish spoiler for anybody looking for my Project Pan update, I did manage to finish the Illamasqua Hydro Veil, which is very, very similar to this, but I still just don't really enjoy this process. Like, it's very wet, and you definitely have to let it like sink in and dry down. The delivery mechanism to like scoop it out is just, it's just not my favorite, and so I just never use it. It also takes up a ton of space, just the packaging size of it, so these two I'm gonna let go. Okay, I think I said we were gonna do foundation second, but concealer's out, so let's do concealer. I did do a concealer declutter, believe it or not that long ago. I had really intended to do like a weekly concealer review. I really thought that I would be able to pull that off. But when you make plans, God laughs, right? So I made plans, and then my mental health tanked, and then my back tanked, and then work exploded, and now here we are, mid-December, and I've reviewed like 3 of these. So I apologize. But let's just go through them really quickly here, and I can give you very quick thoughts on some of these items. So let's just start and we'll make our way through. This one is the True Skin High Coverage Concealer from Catrice. And what shade do I have? Warm Macadamia. Freaking hate when things are named after foods or places because I have no idea what food I am. I don't know. But apparently I'm Warm Macadamia, so there's that. It's not a bad concealer by any stretch. I think I like the foundation a bit better than the concealer from the True Skin line. It's not my favorite concealer. I don't tend to wear it very often, but it's not bad. It's a good drugstore option for whatever that's worth. This one here is from L'Oreal. It's the Infallible Full Wear. And I am cashmere. That is the fabric, apparently, that I identify as. Again, the naming is just ridiculous. Again, not a bad foundation or concealer, but it's not my favorite from the drugstore. We will get to my favorite from the drugstore, but this one's not terrible. I was pleasantly surprised by this one from One Size. This is Patrick Starr's line. This is Light 2 with G in brackets. That I appreciate. I like that kind of naming because I can tell just looking at that it's not the lightest of the light shades. It's a little bit warmer than that. And the G suggests to me that it has golden highlights or golden undertones, which is what I have. So I like names like that. They're boring, but they're very, very helpful. Okay, so like I said, I was quite pleasantly surprised by this one. I tend to, for whatever reason, I don't think I'm alone in this, tend to be a little skeptical when it comes to quote-unquote influencer brands, celebrity brands, things like that. But this actually holds up quite nicely. It has good lasting power. Not my favorite concealer, but it doesn't disappoint. We'll put it that way. This one is from Essence. It's the Camouflage Matte Concealer in Light Honey. And honestly, I don't know if I've tried this one yet. I don't think I have, just looking at... Yeah, I haven't tried this one yet, so I can't weigh in on that, but I will have to because you'll see we have a Essence foundation and it's baller. So I'm hoping, I've got high hopes for this one. We shall see. Huda Beauty. This is the Overachiever Concealer, which I have in Cotton Candy. Huh? Okay. So I am apparently a macadamia cotton candy wearing cashmere. That's my lot in life. I like this one. I really do. It's got a weird delivery mechanism. Like, I'm not super wild on that. I think the fact that this is metal is meant to like cool as you apply, but it spends so little time on your eyes, so like it doesn't matter. Like, I'd rather just have a doe foot, but I actually quite like this concealer. I find that it lasts really well throughout the day, has a ton of coverage. It does all the things that I want a concealer to do. And this one is from Rimmel. It's the Multitasker, and this is the shade Ivory. And again, a good option from the drugstore, though not my favorite. It will show signs of wear throughout the day, most definitely, but not horrifically so. Okay. This is from e.l.f. And yeah, I must have decluttered the other one. I did film like a battle of the e.l.f. ones, so This is the hydrating camo concealer, and then I had the regular mattifying camo concealer as well, and the fact that I only have the hydrating one should give you an indication as to which one I preferred. But I really do like this one. I find that it reminds me of Shape Tape, to be honest. And I'm not entirely sure if it's just like the giant ass doe foot or what it is, but it wears really nicely and again has very good coverage. You're going to find that like all of these have good coverage because I don't buy them if they're light coverage because what's the point? For me anyways. This one is from Il Makiage. This is the Fuck I'm Flawless Multi-Use Perfecting Concealer in the shade 2.5. And I like this one. It obviously made the cut when I was decluttering. There we go. And I like this doe foot as well because it's very precise, so I can get right into the inner corners of my eyes where I do tend to have a lot of shadowing, and it just makes life that much easier. This is my newest concealer. It's from Jouer. This one is the Essential High Coverage Concealer Pen, which I have in Creme Cafe. And it just like, I don't want to click it up too high because it's not retractable after, but like you just click it and it pushes the product up a little bit. What I like about this one is that it just, like, it applies really easily. You don't have to like drag it across the eyes. It's not, you don't have to like warm it up first to make it emollient. It just comes that way. And I've been really enjoying this one. Again, it does show some signs of wear throughout the day, but holds up mostly well. Not the longest wearing of concealers that I have, but very, very good coverage. So sometimes kind of have to do a bit of a trade-off. Okay, Kevyn Aucoin in SX06. This is the Sensual Skin Enhancer, which is quite possibly the most ridiculous name for a concealer that I've ever encountered. It does not look like I've used any because the tiniest amount of this goes the longest way. I really like this. My friend Karen Harris really likes this one. My friend Heather Austin does not. Now, I have normal skin. I can't remember off the top of my head if Karen has normal or dry. I can't remember, but I know Heather has more oily skin, so that maybe plays into why she doesn't like it. Maybe it just doesn't hold up well on oily skin. I don't know. That's not a problem that I have. Unfortunately, this is way too deep for me. So even in the summer, when I wear it, it just looks like it makes me look sallow. And it's just, I need a shade lighter. So although I actually love the concealer itself, and I feel like this pot would last you 10.5 years, I'm going to declutter this one because I should have returned it and exchanged it for a different shade, but I did not because I kept thinking, well, in the summer it'll work, and no, in the summer it does not work. So SX06 is too deep for me. For a frame of reference, I am NC20, which is this guy here. This is too deep. So speaking of this one, I am on the very last dregs of this. There's just a tiny little bit left. I don't actually love this one. This is from MAC. It's the 24-Hour Studio Fix Concealer. It's really not terrible, but it's not my favorite. It doesn't have as high a coverage as I would want, and it doesn't last as long. But I like to keep this last little bit that I've got here for comparison so that when I do get my crap together and actually start reviewing some of these concealers, I can compare so that, you know, most people know the MAC shades and all that kind of stuff, and then you can at least see it side by side. Okay, so there's this guy here from IT Cosmetics, the Bye Bye Under Eye Full Coverage Anti-Aging Waterproof Concealer in medium. And I've had this in light, and I am typically light, like all my foundations are in that kind of category, but I have a hard time shade matching with it. Medium is a little bit too deep. Light is way too light on me. So I'm kind of stuck, like almost having to buy two of them in order to custom match. I am going to hold on to this one because it's not nearly as deep as the Kevyn Aucoin, but I can't really give you much in the way of thoughts on it because I haven't really put it to the test yet, and it's been so long since I even wore a sample of that I just don't remember how I feel about it. These two, however, I really do like. They're both from Tarte. This is the Creaseless Concealer, and this is the Shape Tape Concealer. and I did a video comparing these two and another one. I can't remember, the Hydra Sealer, I think it was, and you don't see it here because I didn't like it. But these two are both very impressive, particularly the creaseless concealer. This one, if you're looking for a new concealer, particularly if you have your eye on Tarte, go this guy. I don't hear people really talking about it, but the tiniest amount gave full coverage on me, and it lasted so well all day, even without powder. It was really impressive. Erase Paste from Benefit. This has been around forever. I have number 1 Fair, and it's just like a color corrector, bit of a peachy kind of tone. I very rarely go to the step of using a color corrector, but I like to have it on hand so that if I am feeling super fancy one day, I can do that. And this is the one that I have enjoyed the most out of all the color correctors I've tried. So I just hold on to that. I'll go quickly this way. So we've got Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer in Light Beige. This is from Too Faced. I think the whole idea behind this is like, you can use it as concealer, you can get a deeper shade and use it as bronzer, you can also get another one and use it as contour. Like, I think that's the whole idea. Yeah. Conceal, contour, highlight, retouch. I don't like it enough to buy like 3 different shades of it. Super coverage. I would go this one over this. It's honestly not bad, but not my favorite. This one is actually very impressive from The Ordinary. This is just called Concealer, High Coverage Formula. I have, oh crap, what's the shade on this? I like the numbering that they use, but I just don't see it easily. I think it was on a sticker and the sticker fell off, but like their numbering is all like G2W3. Like, it's really intuitive and really easy to use. But this one, I think it costs like $5 in some sense. And it just, very functional packaging, excellent coverage, excellent wear time, a really good one to try. This one I am going to declutter. I don't know, everybody keeps trotting this one out and being like, this is the best one, it's an OG, but it still stands up. I would disagree. I disagree. I don't love this one. This one is from Maybelline, I believe. And it's the Instant Age Rewind. I have it in Light Honey. I don't like that. And I just wasn't super impressed by it, to be honest. This is not the first time I've tried this one because people have been raving about it for years. I just don't love it. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I don't know, but I don't love it. This one from CoverGirl, the True Blend Undercover. I have it in Golden Ivory. So not just ivory, now it's Golden Ivory. And again, just like a big old doe foot on it. There we go. This is probably the only CoverGirl product that I've actually gotten along with. CoverGirl and I do not see eye to eye, don't like each other, don't know what happened. Somebody spread rumors about somebody. I don't know what's going on, but this is the only one that I actually really like. One of you recommended it to me. I can't remember who, but thank you. Because now at least there's one CoverGirl product that I don't mind. This one, I think, is the best concealer from the drugstore. This is the Milani Conceal and Perfect Longwear Concealer. I have it in Light Natural, number 125. This is not the first tube of it that I have used. I've completely used up at least one, maybe two? Maybe two. I don't know, but at least one I have used completely. Again, I like doe foots like this, especially for concealer. Nice and precise, so I can just get it exactly where I want it, around the corner of my nose, inner corners of my eyes, all that. Super coverage, blends really well, lasts really well. Best concealer at the drugstore, in my opinion. This one I did a full review on. This is from Lancome, the Tantidol Ultra Wear All Over Concealer, which I have in, I don't know what that is. BIS W62U100. What the hell? 250025. I don't, take your pick. I have no idea. I think it's called like Bisque on the Sephora website, but there's a lot of different numbers everywhere. Anyways, super impressive, this one. It, again, has massive coverage, lasts so well with or without powder, doesn't look cakey, doesn't look all creasy and gross under the eyes. It's a fantastic option. These two are quite similar in terms of how they wear, what they cover, all that kind of stuff, I give the edge to the Lancome. So this one here is from Dior. It's the Forever Skin Correct in 2N. And it's basically everything that the Lancome is, just a step down. Not by much, but just a little bit of a step down. I would go Lancome over that one. And then we've got my beloved powder concealer from Bare Minerals. This is the Eye Brightener Broad Spectrum SPF 20 sunscreen in Well Rested. Again, there's a ton of different words on there, but it's a powder concealer. And I like even just the packaging so that not a ton of it comes out. I do have to release a little bit more soon, which I will do. But I can wear it on its own. I do prefer to use it almost like a setting powder just to like boost up the coverage of the others. And if I do use it on its own, because it's just so freaking convenient to do, frankly, I do like to have like an eye cream underneath just so that it has something to adhere to. Then we've got this guy from NARS. This is the Soft Matte Complete Concealer in Light 2.2 Nougatine. And it's just a little potted concealer, as you can see. Has very good coverage to it. It's maybe just a little bit too deep for me, but not as bad as the Kevyn Aucoin. It's workable. But if I was to repurchase it, I would go just a shade lower. But I have no complaints about this one at all. Because it's in a pot, it's not as convenient to use as these others, so I don't tend to reach for it over and over. But I don't want to declutter it because I do use it enough to justify keeping it. And then this guy here from Juvia's Place in shade 20. I believe they've changed their naming system since the time I bought this, so I'm not entirely sure what the actual shade is called now. It's good enough that I've kept it. If I ever do finish it though, I don't think I would repurchase it because I just prefer some of these others over this one. But this is another celebrity / influencer brand that has really, really impressed me. This is from Item Beauty, which I believe is Addison Rae's line. And this is the Air Hug Concealer in shade 210. And these all start looking the same after a while. Like it's a doe foot with like a creamy colored product on it. But, oh, there's like a cat hair in there. What the hell? Meh, that's a future problem. Anyways, this one, I've been really impressed by. I wouldn't say that like get this over this, but it does have very good coverage. It blends out no problem. It doesn't become a hot, cakey, creasy mess under the eyes. Behaves itself throughout the day. I'm really impressed with that one, to be honest. So, those are the concealers. Let's move on to foundation. All right, on to foundation. First up, the container that I have is from a brand called the Cosmetic Archive. Unfortunately, I don't think that they're in business anymore, which is honestly a shame because their products are fantastic. But at any rate, I wanted to tell you the name in case you can find them somewhere. Again, Cosmetic Archive. Okay, how are we going to tackle this? Let's just dive in. That's the only way that we can tackle this, to be honest. Now, I did do a foundation declutter not that long ago, so I don't anticipate getting rid of a lot, but I think there's one or two that their time has come to an end. But we will come to them as we go through. So first up, this guy here from Beauty Blender. This is the Bounce Skin Tint, which I have in Light 4. I freaking love this stuff. It is so good. It's a skin tint, so it's going to give you just a very light amount of coverage, has a little dropper to it, but it wears beautifully all day. It just evens everything out, just a little bit of coverage, but enough to just perfect the skin. Very, very impressed with this one. I might even be more impressed with that one than I am with the Make It Forever, which honestly is saying something because I really do like this one. So this is the Water Tone Skin Perfecting Fresh Foundation. And this one I have in Y245. This one is very, very thin. I'll show you. Like it's very runny, very watery. It comes out a lot lighter than what I was anticipating it to do. But once it's like blended in, you really can't see. It doesn't leave like a white cast on the skin or anything like that. Apparently that was overkill for the back of my hand. But if you're sensitive to fragrance, you're not going to like this one because it is very heavily scented. It's a very nice scent, in my opinion, but if you get headaches from scents, things of that sort, you're not going to like this. I really do love this one. Gun to head, I think I would choose the Beauty Blender one over this one, though. That kind of hurts because I love this, but I really like that Beauty Blender one. This guy here, though, let me tell you, this is from Essence. I think I paid like $7.99 for it. The Pretty Natural Hydrating Foundation, which I have in Neutral Ivory. This is so good. It looks beautiful on the skin. It is, I would say, light to medium coverage, edging I think a little bit more towards medium, but it just looks beautiful. Like, it looks natural on the skin, as the name might suggest. It is very lightweight, very comfortable throughout the day, wears beautifully. It's $8 Canadian. So in American, that's like, what, 20 cents? I have the exchange rate. It's probably like $5 or $6 for you Americans. This one is definitely worth checking out. It's so good. Probably my favorite drugstore one. In fact, I'm going to go right out and say it is my favorite drugstore one. This is another drugstore one here. This is the Superstay Active Wear from Maybelline. I'm not in love with it. I have it in 20U300. What the fuck kind of name is that? Oh, Classic Ivory. Okay, sorry. My bad. Classic Ivory. It says 30 hours wear. I did not find that it had excellent wear time. And in fact, I don't think I've worn it since the first time I used it. So I'm not going to keep it because I've got other drugstore ones that I love far more than that. So there's the Essence one. And then there's this one from Milani. This is the Screen Queen in Nude Beige. This one is pretty new to me. I just got it. And in fact, I think I have another one on the way because I forgot that I ordered it from Ulta. When I order from Ulta, I have to ship it to my P.O. box in California and then pay to have it shipped up here to Canada because Ulta, in all of their infinite wisdom, has decided not to ship to Canada anymore for some reason. But this one I've been very impressed with as well. It just, again, perfects the skin, wears nicely throughout the day, doesn't cost an arm and a leg, although it is significantly higher than the Essence. Seriously, guys, check out the Essence. It's so good. Okay, next, what else have we got going on here? So this guy here, you see the little thing I've got sitting inside. This one's from Lisa Eldridge, the Seamless Skin, which I have in shade 6. It's beautiful. It is so beautiful. It's horrifically expensive, especially if you're in Canada. I think it cost me like a total like $130 or something with the exchange rate, with the shipping costs, and with the import duties. Like, it's not worth $130 in my opinion. But I bought it. Here we are. I have it. I will use every last drop of this. My only complaint about it was the shape, like the design of it, because it only has a beveled edge here. So, like, it'll sit this way, but it doesn't really, like, it just wibble wobbles. So I just kept this from the inside packaging, and it just sits nicely in there without wiggling around. So at least there was a workaround for that. Okay, this is another sort of like skin tint kind of deal. This one's from Urban Decay. This is the Stay Naked Hydro Maniac Tinted Glow Hydrator, and that's a terrible name. I have it in shade Light. I really just like skin tints, I think is what it comes down to. Not all skin tints are created equally, but this one is very good. So, keeping that. This is another one that's fantastic from Fenty Beauty. This is the Easy Drop Blurring Skin Tint. I have it in shade 3. Little squeezy bottle. I really like the packaging on this. And again, wear time's there. Not too glowy, not too mattifying. Just looks natural and perfect on the skin. I love it. This is from Natasha Denona. This is the Foundation X Plus Full Coverage. And I have it in 25W. I've talked about this one before. This one was the one that I ordered, and they sent it to me, and the bottle was like open and stuff had leaked out. So you can see it's like, well, I can't see it now that I've been moving around, but it's like down to here because a lot of it had fallen out. So I contacted Sephora and they sent me a replacement. It's the same shade, 25W, but they look different. Like, the one that had been opened looked like it's oxidized a bit. So even though I have been using that one, I'm going to switch over to this one, and I'm just going to get rid of that because I think with it being open and in transit and all that, like, I mean, it wasn't like wide open, it didn't all pour out, but there was enough, like it was kind of basically like that when I got it. I think it's oxidized because it looks different even though they're the same shade. So I'm going to hold on to the full bottle, but that one we're going to say goodbye to. And then this guy here from Dior, this is the Backstage Face and Body in 2W. And I don't use it all that often. I should clean that up a little bit. But I have used quite a bit of it, and I really like it. I need to, this is why I like bringing all this stuff out and taking a look, just to remind myself what I have. I need to continue using this one, so I will. Okay, this one is from Il Makiage. This is the Woke Up Like This foundation in shade 040. And I actually really like this one too. This one's more like a medium, buildable up to full coverage. Again, looks beautiful on the skin, wears really nicely, doesn't crease or do anything stupid on my face, so I'm going to keep that. I've got two from The Ordinary. So this one is the Serum Foundation, this one is the Coverage Foundation. Oh, we'll be able to get the names. 1.2 YG for both of them, and that is the same shade for the concealer that I mentioned earlier. And I like these. I really do. The Coverage Foundation has a little bit more coverage, as the name would suggest, than the Serum Foundation. The Serum Foundation is very runny and very watery, but again, it just helps to just perfect the skin, even things out a little bit. They both wear nicely. I think that's one of the things I really like about skin tints is that because they don't have a ton of coverage, you don't really see the wear as obviously, but I'll keep both of these, and they're very, very reasonably priced, so good ones to try if you're in the market. Okay. MAC Pro Longwear Foundation in NC20. I don't know why I checked it. I know what my shade is. Yeah, Pro Longwear Foundation. It's not my favorite, honestly, but I like to have it as almost more like a reference than anything else at this point. Definitely higher coverage than a lot of the other foundations that I have, but not so much that it looks like a mask or looks artificial on the skin. It's honestly not my favorite, but I don't feel compelled at this point to get rid of it. Okay. Then we got this guy here from Morphe. This is the Hint Skin Tint in Hint of Pecan. I don't know. Anyways, I've only worn it once, so I can't really give like a lot of in-depth thoughts on it. Light coverage, wears well. It might be just a hair deep for me, but it's workable. Didn't hate it when I wore it, but it obviously hasn't left a amazing impression on me. I'll keep testing it, and then I'll share my thoughts later on. Or I won't. I don't know. If it's really bad, I'll tell you. If it's really good, I'll tell you. If you never see it on my channel again, it's just kind of meh. There. Done. Alright. This guy here is from ABH. This is the Luminous Foundation, which I have in 210N. You know, the last time I did a foundation declutter, I seem to recall putting this into like a makeup purgatory so that I would try it again and remind myself and then decide from there. And since I did that, I have not worn it. So that tells me it was on the chopping block once. Now we're back again. Still haven't gotten additional wear out of it. Clearly I'm not in love with it, so I'm going to say goodbye to that one. Likewise, I see another one here. I'm going to say goodbye to this one from Hourglass. This is the Vanish Seamless Finish, which is in the shade Natural. That's kind of a stupid name, isn't it? Like everybody else is Unnatural? What the fuck kind of name is that? Natural. That's so dumb. Anyways, apparently I'm unnatural because this is hella deep on me. It is far too dark. I cannot work with that. The only reason I was holding on to it was to mix in with really light foundations, but I've also decluttered all of those. So now it serves absolutely no purpose. I cannot make that work. Like, if you're a half shade up or a half shade down, I can manipulate it with powders, no problem, but this one I cannot rescue it, so away it goes. So then we have this one here, which is from Kogendo, I believe it's called. Kogendo, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's the Aqua Foundation in the shade 113. And I really like this, which is good because it is stupid expensive. I think it's in like the $90 Canadian range before tax, before shipping. Like, it's pricey, but it's beautiful. So I'm glad that I like it, because otherwise that would just be painful. So it can hang out with its other little rich buddy over here, the Lisa Eldridge, and yeah, they can just be friends. Okay, Changemaker Supercharged Micellar Foundation from Bite. I have it in L25. This is another one that I'm pretty sure was put into Makeup Purgatory, and then I rescued it, and then I have not used it again, so I'm not going to overthink this. I'm just going to part ways with it. This one was in Makeup Purgatory too, I believe. I saved it, and I have actually been really enjoying this. This one's from Merit, and if I can open it, there we go. It's just like a little complexion stick. I don't like it for concealer. It does not provide nearly enough coverage for my needs, and it just doesn't wear well under the eyes on me. But as an actual like foundation, it's really easy to apply. It blends out really nicely. Again, it acts more like a skin tint than anything else. Very sort of like minimalist approach, if you will. But I have really been enjoying this now that I put my mind to using it, and I have it in linen. So at one point I was cashmere, now I'm linen. So then we have another skin tint. This one is from YSL, and it is the Bare Look tint, which I have in Nu 5. I really like this one as well. It just, again, wears really nicely throughout the day, makes my skin look nice and even, and I like this kind of application. So definitely keeping that. This one I run hot or cold with from Giorgio Armani. This is the Neo Nude True to Skin Natural Glow Foundation in the shade 4. I can see through the lights that it's like down to about here at this point, so I am getting good use out of it. I don't always love it. In the summer, I find it's just too light for me, but at this time of year, it is pretty much a dead-on match. And again, it just acts like a skin tint, so it's very lightweight, not greasy at all, not heavy on the skin. So I like it this time of year. Don't like it in the summer, so all the more reason to use it now. And it looks like I have done a pretty good dent in it, so may as well just keep trucking along with it. And then we've got the Catrice True Skin Hydrating Foundation in Warm Beige. And I have worn it, but not enough to really remember if I love it or not. I do like it better than the concealer, as I said earlier. I'm going to hold on to it, but I don't remember if I am crazy about it or not. So we'll hold on to that at any rate. Okay, then we've got some others over here. So again, I'm pretty sure this is one that I was like, I don't know if I'm going to declutter it or not. Kept it, haven't worn it. It's from Guerlain. This is the L'Essentiel, something else in French. Natural Glow, something shit, I don't know. And I have it in 02W. It's honestly not bad, but I just never think to bring it out. It's just kind of middle of the road. It's definitely not worth the price of it. Now, it takes the sting out a little bit for me that I got it using Shoppers Drug Mart points, so it wasn't like cash out of pocket. Of course, I have to buy stuff to make those points, I get that, but it, I'm just going to say goodbye to it. I'm not going to overthink things. Okay, then we've got the Maybelline Superstay Better Skin, which I'm pretty sure has been replaced by the Superstay Period Full Coverage Powder Foundation. Both of these are in shade 120. Well, this is 20. This is 120. Both of them are Classic Ivory. This one is part of my Project Pan with Kelly from K Bella Beauty. So I have made quite a dent in it. I've had this for a very long time. I was not nearly as impressed with this one as I am with this one. I don't really like this one at all. So, well, it's not that I don't like it at all. It's just that it's disappointing. It's not the same as this, and therefore I just don't like it because it doesn't rise to the level of this one. Maybe that's stupid. I don't know. But at any rate, I'm going to say goodbye to it. And I do have these other two powder foundations here. This one is from Too Faced, and I can see that I've had very good use out of it. I can see the the concentric rings. What the hell? I don't know what that's called. This is the Cocoa Powder Foundation, which I don't even think they have anymore. That's how old this is, but it's a powder and I trust it. I don't really care. And it's in the shade Golden Light. I will use powders until they actually smell weird, so make your own decisions about expiry dates and whether or not those are just suggestions or actual guidelines to follow. I'm not going to make that decision for you. So I'm going to keep that one. Likewise, I'm going to keep the one from Fenty Beauty. There's that guy there. This is the Pro Filter Soft Matte Powder Foundation in 210. And I really do like this one. It's got like the little spongy dewbob underneath it. I don't really use that. You could also pop the pan out if you wanted to. I absolutely don't. I prefer to have it in its own packaging, but I really do like the way that this one wears throughout the day, so holding on to that. And then the last foundation is this guy here from KVD. This is the Good Apple in Light 021. And it looks deceptively dark in the pan, but once it's applied, it is like the perfect match for me. And I'm not in love with like having to run my finger in there and then smear it around. I'm not in love with that, but I actually really do like the product itself. I like how it looks. I like how it wears, so I'm going to be holding on to that. Okay, so we are finally on to powders, and we're just going to breeze through them. And just, honestly, when it comes to powders, like, I don't have much to say about them, honestly. Like, I can't really do a full review on a powder, so I'm just going to kind of show you what I have. I think there's one I'm going to be decluttering, but for the rest of it, let's just go through it. So, first up, I've got two of these from Guerlain. These are the Meteorites. These ones are in Light, and these ones are the holiday ones from this year. They are, I don't know, gold pearls. I don't know. Anyways, it's the one that they released for holiday of 2021. So these ones I've had for quite some time, and you can see that. And then these ones obviously are a lot newer. And I actually really like both of them. Like, I find you go in with a light hand, they just really do help to perfect everything. So I use them as finishing powders. I also use this one as a finishing powder rather than a setting powder. It's from Dior. This is the Dior Backstage Face and Body Powder, No Powder in 2N. And it's got a little bit of hard pan, so I went in with a spoolie and just kind of roughed it up a little bit, and that really did help. But I do like this as a finishing powder that doesn't add any glow to the skin. So that's what I use that for. Same with this one here from Chantecaille. This is the Flower Power Perfect Blur Finishing Powder in Light Medium. I was not super impressed with this when I first got it. Like, it just didn't really do anything. And then I found the brush to use with it. And that's the one from Dior, this guy here. Game changer. So I just kind of swirl it around in there, blend everything together, and it really helps to just like even out all the powders that are on my skin. And I can see that I've already got a good like little dip going on in the middle in there, and I will continue using it because it was freaking expensive. It was like $115 before tax, and tax in Ontario is 13%, so this is a freaking investment. I'm using it. This one here is a drugstore option, which is also a very good option from NYX. This is the High Glass Finishing Powder. Is there a shade name on here? Light. And this one, I have to go in with a light hand because if you go in too heavy, it can go 0 to 60 in terms of glow in like a flash. But if I just go in with a light hand, again with that same Dior brush, that's what I typically use for all of my finishing powders, it just adds like this healthy luminosity to the skin, and I have been really enjoying that one. And then this one I just picked up and I haven't worn it yet. It just got delivered yesterday. It's the newest one from Jouer. This is the Soft Focus Hydrate and Set Powder Radiant Translucent. Oh, it's beautiful packaging. Like, it's just so pretty. And then the nice little imprint on the powder itself. And I haven't even swatched it yet. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's going to be along the lines of the NYX, but maybe a little bit more toned down, which will actually make it a little bit easier to use, to be honest. But I'm excited to try this one. I really like Jouer's powders, so I expect that I will like this one, but if I don't, I will let you know. And this is one that I picked up as a replacement for my other Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, so this one's been around forever. It's an OG. I will continue to replace this because it just works. Like, it doesn't leave a cast on my skin. It like sets my foundation beautifully, doesn't look cakey. It just works. And I think, oh no, this one's also from Laura Mercier, but this is the Under Eye, the Secret Brightening Powder for Under Eyes in shade 1. And so I use this one to set concealer. And again, same thing. It doesn't leave a white cast despite how light it is. It doesn't like translate on the skin that way, and it does just lock my concealer into place. Now, this one is housed in an e.l.f. container, but it's not an e.l.f. powder. It is the RCMA No Color Powder. And like, first of all, I mean, it is a really good investment because I think you pay like $10 and you get a lifetime supply of freaking powder. The only problem I have with this is that it does tend to leave a bit of a cast on my skin. So I have to go in with a very, very light hand, have to blend really well, and then I definitely have to set everything with a setting spray just to sort of meld it all together. Otherwise, it can leave a little bit of a white cast. So this one I am going to declutter. This one is from Kosas, and it's the Comfy Cloud Set something or other, or maybe it's the Comfy Powder in Cloud Set. I don't know how to read the back of that label. But at any rate, it was like a sample that came when I ordered something from Sephora, and it's too deep for me, so it just, again, if I use it under my eyes, it ends up making me look even more tired than I typically do, and it's just too deep for the rest of my face. But my friend has a deeper complexion than me, and she might get along really well with that one, so I'm going to give that to her. This one here from Il Maquillage, this is the Transparent Loose Powder. I actually really like this. I prefer this over the RCMA powder. It looks basically the same, but this one doesn't leave the cast on my skin, so it's much easier to use in that sense. And then we got some samples going on over here. So this one is from One Size, then we've got one from Huda Beauty, and then one from Hourglass. And I really just use these for like setting under my eyes, and I don't really have any strong opinions on any of them, if I'm being perfectly honest. I don't know. I don't have any strong opinions. Sorry. But I like holding on to them so that like if I go away or if I'm like on vacation or something like that, I don't have to take a giant powder with me. I can just take one of these. So I'm going to hold on to those. And then we've got this one here from LYS. It's a pressed powder. This one is the Triple Fix Translucent Setting Powder. And there she is. I don't have a lot. No, I only have one. This is the only like setting powder, not finishing powder, but pressed setting powder that I have. So I want to hold on to it just for that. I go through phases. I used to really like pressed powder and really dislike loose powder, and now I've swung to the other side of the pendulum, so who knows, it might swing back and then I will have one on hand. And then finally we've got this one here from Jacqueline Cosmetics. This is the Brightening Light Banana Under Eye Powder. First of all, the packaging is unnecessarily chunky. Like, that just kind of irritates me if I'm being completely honest. But the powder itself is quite nice. So I will hold on to it. I will keep using it. It is like right on the cusp for me though. If it was any deeper, I think I'd have a problem with it. But it does blend out really nicely, and it is more translucent in nature than anything else. So it is workable on my skin. Okay, so here we are. These are the items that I'm going to be saying goodbye to from my collection. And again, it's such a good process to go through, as hard as decluttering can be, as wasteful as it can feel on multiple fronts. I'm either holding on to them and they're still not getting used, or I'm letting them go and they're not getting used. Like, either way you slice it, these are just products that I'm not using for a multitude of reasons. So it is what it is. But everything else is now reorganized. I feel very good about that. All of my powders are in their little container here, minus these guys, which can sit on top. And I feel more in control of my collection having gone through all these declutters. So thank you so much for coming along with me on that journey. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. If you enjoyed it, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed to the channel already, please consider doing so. But with all that said, I'm going to wrap the video up here. Thank you again for taking the time to watch, and I will see you in my next one. Until then, just be a decent human being. Bye for now.